Right, welcome to a new series that me and Dad are going to be starting. It's going to be fishing all around the country. Basically it's going to be called the O'Connor angle, which is something that was in the past really. Dad used to do a lot of writing from Carp talk and
angling times.
Yeah, and basically it was the articles were called the O'Connor angle, so we're going to base it around that, but it's going to be on day ticket lakes. We might be able to do one on our syndicate, we don't know yet, but it's going to be things that you can relate to. Now the filming is going to be done at weekends, which most of you will fish at weekends, so you know everything that goes with it, you know, like finishing work, rushing down the motorways, you know, you're trying to get your swims. We've all been there, so it's like I say, it's going to be something you can relate to, and it's going to be on places, you know, where you guys can fish as well. You know, it's not going to be on places that they've just been stocked with new shiny pennies as such. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be proper fishing, so you're going to see the good times, the bad times, probably the arguments.
Yeah, warps and all. Yeah, everything's going to be in there. Even the blanks will be in there.
Oh, there we go.
Just had a bleep. So
there we go.
One's going off.
But yeah, for now, the first session is on Cottington and Christine Lake. Obviously, me and Dad are bailiffs here. We have been for a little while. We do run the elite match on here as well. We started off yesterday, and been fortunate enough to bag a couple this morning, and hopefully we might get another one soon. But I will say the fish did spawn a few weeks ago. It was about a week ago, I think it was, wasn't it? They spawned.
Right. The temperature's going to be up in the 30s, so
yeah,
not going to be good for what we want to do.
We're going to be up against it, but we are lucky we've had two doubles at the moment. But we'll go more into that as the footage shows. But yeah, as for now, like I say, this is a new series, and hope you enjoy it.
We'll go in depth with rigs and stuff like that, bait, why we've chosen a certain swim, because it will be different on different lakes anyway. So everything will be in there that will hopefully help you catch more fish. And us, I suppose.
That's it, hopefully, mate.
Yeah, hopefully.
Enjoy.
Yeah.
Advice is key to any of these lakes. Now, fortunate enough for myself and my dad, we are bailiffs here, but you know, we do live quite far away. Now, we have bailiffs on site, etc., and we have one here now. He's known as Mango, and he actually lives on site, so he lives and breathes this water. I mean, what he doesn't know where these fish are is secondary, really. Do you know what I mean? He knows when they spawn, he knows where they're going to be, etc. And it's something that you guys can take as well. You know, it's advice is key. I mean, you've got the social media sites, etc., and that, but actually speaking to someone live on a bank, you know, and they're pointing out spots, and then obviously they're going to give you the rules. So I'll introduce you to Mango and that. So give us a bit of info about the site. I mean, we're on Christine at the moment. Let's go with some fish stocks on this lake roughly. Do we roughly know? I guess I know it's a rough.
There's between about 75 to 100 in here.
Right. Okay, so there's quite a few, isn't it?
Yeah, there's quite a few. It's an old lake. They are old fish, but yeah, it's a stunning lake, as you can see.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
It's been around. It's surrounded by trees. You know, you couldn't ask for a small specimen lake, which this is, but the fish stock in here is pristine. Right. You know, some top quality fish in here.
Okay, if we go round the swims then, I mean, on here, I mean, right, if I'm coming now, where this lake was empty.
Yeah.
Where would you put me? In these conditions, where would you put me?
I'd put you in the corners where there's a bit of shade during the day,
right, okay.
Because they're going to come away. They do come up on the tops during the day. Like Barry said earlier, it is going to be extremely hard today because they spawned a week ago, and with this sun that we've got today, it is going to be difficult.
Right.
But again, with this lake, we tend to find that when you've got a few anglers on, they'll go for a safe haven.
Right, okay.
You know, they'll look for an area where there's no rods.
Typical day ticket fishing, like.
Because you can book this lake out exclusively just for 6 anglers, we do advise the anglers, spread yourselves out, Don't all sit in just one area.
Yeah,
Do you know
makes
what I mean?
sense.
Spread yourselves out, keep the fish moving, because they are quite keyed up on it.
Right, so basically you can bounce the fish off each
Yeah,
other.
definitely.
That's fair
Yeah,
enough. That's a good bit of advice as well, because I mean bouncing fish, I mean me and Dad have done it in the past on lakes where one will go opposite, and then you're bouncing the shoal off of each other and you keep mixing it about. So let's go on to more rule side of it now then. Rule, what are the do's and what are the don'ts on this lake? Let's start with the don'ts. What don't we do?
The don't, we don't like you to use your lead cores.
Yeah.
Or safe zone leaders, unfortunately, because it is a day ticket water. I'll explain the reasons why for that in a bit, but the don'ts are, we do like, our management do like is to sit in the swims, fish in the swims, designated swims only. It is 2 rods only on this, and our rubber especially. But the reason for that is it keeps it fair to everybody. If you start putting too many rods out, especially on a lake this size, it causes problems. You know, and we noticed it years back when there was a 3-rod ruling on here, that the fish catch, you know, the catch rate did drop quite a bit. So now it's gone to 2, and we are quite strict on that. You know, we do the rounds, and we're not happy when people do fish with 3 rods, because at the end of it, it's spoiling it for other people, because you could box them in and it's cut them off. Do you know what I mean? If somebody's greedy enough to use 3 rods, which does happen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, it does on day tickets. Well, it does on syndicates as well. It's not just day tickets. Right, let's go through the do's. And what would you say? What would you say definitely to do on this lake? What would you go in with? What is your number 1 bait to go in on this?
A small size.
Or plan.
Yeah.
What would you do?
I'd go for a small boilie on here, because it's only a smaller lake. I like to use something like a size 12 to a maximum as a 14.
Right, okay.
We do get people come down here with 22s, and they do tend to struggle.
Right, okay.
Pop-ups are good on here because of the silt.
Right, okay.
You know, it is an extremely silty lake, as we all know. But yeah, the do's is keep your baits down to a small amount. Small amount.
Right.
And you're looking for that individual bite each time.
So you're fishing for a bite at a time rather than a massive big hit.
Yeah, you're not going to keep them in your swim constantly or anything. They do move about. But yeah, it's not a hard lake to fish. Normally you do catch.
Yeah, you normally get a bite. You can get a bite.
You can have fantastic red letter days on here when you get it right and the conditions are right. You can have an absolutely blinding time. With some big stunning fish in it. Yeah,
well, there are some big ones in here. I must admit, when we've done some nettings, I'll go more into that with Dad a bit later on. But yeah, for the acreage of water, there is quite a few 30-pounders in here. But at the moment, mate, I think that explains everything. And take the man's advice, and I'm sure that you'll be putting more fish on the bank. Cheers for that, mate.
Yeah, I would like to just say one other thing. Is my advice to any carp angler in this country is, wherever you go, is just read the rules. Obviously, I'm a bailiff. I see so many times where anglers turn up, they're using the wrong equipment, they've got the 3 rods out, they break the rules, and they always come up with the excuse, "Oh, I didn't read the rules."
Yeah.
I've heard so many excuses, but at the end of the day, my advice is, wherever you go, make sure you understand the rules.
And read them.
Yeah, read them. They're in place for a purpose.
Exactly.
You know, mainly it's for the fish safety.
Yeah, well, that's nice to hear as well. So, like I say, boys, there it is. There's all the info. You know, I mean, come down. If you do what Mango says and keep it all neat and tidy, I'm sure that you'll be catching fish as well.
These are a couple that we caught earlier on, and got massive fish in here, but they suit us, don't they, in the conditions we've got with us.
Well, to be fair, mate, I know this is not everyone's cup of tea, but I absolutely love them. I think they're beautiful, mate. I mean,
always lovely, isn't it?
The scale pattern on it is phenomenal. So, considering it's near 30 degrees heat today, we'll take them. I'm happy. I'll have one each, so that will do. Like I say, it's a good start. We've still got a day and a night left, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, good start at the moment. Happy?
Yeah, well happy. Hopefully we get some big brothers.
Yeah, that's
and
it.
sisters.
We'll go through the baits and the tactics a bit later on. But yeah, as for that, 2 early morning bites, probably mid doubles a piece.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Well pleased.
Right, a bit of a tactical change. As you can see, the boat in the background is in a cove over on the back island. I'm actually in swim 2 in Christine. Basically, I've just seen, well, a couple of fish show. There was one underneath the bush there, and I seen one earlier on. Wondered why I'd never had a bite, and I brought it back in. Unfortunately, the bait had come off. Don't know what for. Don't know if I did have a pull on it. I don't know if it was one of the potential something or a small fish, but we've gone back out there again. But like I say, there was some fish over there, so a bit of a tactical change. Obviously, where it's red hot today, I'm going to go where they are, etc. And let's hope that one's on the money. Right, like you just see, it was a tactical change into that cove. Obviously we're sticking with the creamy toffee, which brings us on to bait now. And we're going to go through Dad's bait and see what he's doing exactly now. Right, onto the bait application side of things. I mean, where do you start with this? I mean, you start at a market, supermarket, tackle shop. I mean, we've all been in tackle shops when you open the door and then you just get a massive array of smell comes to you, whether it's fruit, fish, whatever. I mean, the world's your oyster when it comes to bait. And this brings us nicely onto this section here, really. As you can see, we've got an array of baits here. So we're going to go through with Dad why he's using this bait and what for. So I'll bring it on to you now, mate.
The reason I'm using the baits that you're seeing at the moment, firstly, we'll come to this. This is creamy toffee and they're 10 mils. Over the years that we've fished on here, me and Ben have learned that small baits seem to work for us a lot better than anything else. So that's why we come here loaded with small baits. We've got creamy toffee and we've got tutti fruities. Now, tutti fruities are a very good bait in here. Again, that's the reason for me using them. So I'm using them 2 baits, both in 10 mils, sometimes 12 mils. And to go with it, we've got this one's banoffee, a banoffee dip, which is it's quite nice. Smells lovely. Could drink it. And also we've got this one, which is creamy toffee. Again, smells nice. If you can open it, yeah, it's lovely. What I tend to do is, because we use a boat here, I put a few boilies in there, a few pellets, and then I'll pour one of the dips over whatever bait I'm using. I'd also put a handful of hemp in there, which is a good bait on here. We don't use a lot of it on here, but an handful or 2 is great. It's really nice to have that. And the other thing I use is sweet corn. but there is a rule here, you can only use it in moderation. So again, with a boat, I tend to put a pop-up, a yellow pop-up on, it's very tiny, and then I'll put a handful, maybe 2 in the boat of sweet corn, and send the boat out with that. That is a very good bait here, but as I say, you can't come here armed with bags and bags of sweet corn, because they will just ask you to leave. With these, we're using a size 6 hook, and only putting 1 on the hair, and they get picked up very easily by the carp, and we've caught several carp on here. We did a session last year, and I think between 4 of us using these baits we had 46 carp, and I caught then the lake record, which was handy. But yeah, there's a selection of baits. Come with what you think you'll do with. We come with these. Ben will have his choice, I will have my choice, but we're basically the same. But most baits will work here.
Bit of background check. Name Ben Oconnor. Live in Sutton in Surrey. Been roofing for, God, trying to think now, 36 now, 16 years. God, I can't believe I'm that old. But yeah, 16 years roofing. Got a missus, got 2 kids. To be fair, I love her to pieces. I'll be lost without her. And the same with the kids as well. Fortunate enough to have my mum and dad are still together as well. They've been together at least 30, I think it's 30 odd years now, is it 40 years, whatever it is. Reasons for bringing up this channel, or starting this channel really, it's I watch a lot of the YouTube stuff. I've never really been into it until probably about the last year or 2. I mean, my missus will tell you, she goes absolutely mad with it because I've got it on all the time now. And basically it's like a gap in a, you know, in a door as such. You know, you see all these YouTube things, and they're always done on lakes that, I'll say a majority of them are on lakes where they're just newly stocked fish, you know what I mean? They're like 10 to 15 pounders, and which is all good and, you know, fun if that's what you want to do. But when you hear feedback from people and you look at some of these prominent, like, top day tickets in the country, generally people are trying to target, I would say, 15 to 30 pound carp. Not necessarily like new shiny pennies and that, you know, they're well established lakes, and there was a gap there for it, and that's what me and Dad are going to try and do. You know, we're going to put it all on the line. It's going to be live as such, and they're going to be done at weekends. You know, it's quite funny actually, because down on the syndicate there's a few of us where we say if you catch a carp in the week it don't count. I mean, it's just a bit of banter between the boys. I mean, obviously I work, I'm employed, I get 4 weeks holiday a year. I know what it's like to fish on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It is a lot easier. I don't care what anyone says, it's a lot easier to catch a carp then. You know, the anglers are not around, you can spread your rods, you can pretty much cast backwards and you're not interfering with anyone. But doing it on a weekend, on a busy day ticket, regardless of where it is in the country and even weather, you know about it, things slow up, and there's a few people that stand out, you know, they still catch fish, and whether it be 1 or whether it be 10, you know. So, and that's the whole idea of these channels. It's something that, you know, you guys can relate to. You know, obviously like myself, you know, like I'll give you an example, you know, on this trip, this is the first one. I had half a day off work. I mean, you know, there's millions of you that do the same. You know, I finished at 12:30. I was absolutely bolting down the motorway. I mean, I reckon I'd give Lewis Hamilton a run for his money. You know, that's how fast I was going. I've probably gone through 3 speed cameras you know, we're all the same, you know, we all do that. You want to get to the lake as quick as you can, and you know, you get there and you're like, oh no, that swim's gone and that one's gone, and sometimes you're in a dusted up corner, but sometimes you get lucky and you do get the peg you want. But it's all part of it. That's part of the world that we live in now. You know, the fishing is absolutely massive. It's you know, the money that's involved in it now, and the anglers, there's more anglers, you know, coming day by day, whether you're an instant carp angler or whether you've been doing it for years. But like I say, I'm hoping that people can relate to it. Well, the venues that we're going to go to, you can too, and you know, like I say, I reckon 80 to 85% of you will visit these venues. Like I say, it's not going to be done, you know, during the week. You know, like I say, I can't see the point of it. We could all do that and catch, and do it at an hard time. Put yourself on the line. Let's see what you've got. See if you've got the minerals to do it. And like me and Dad have said, we've said, well, let's do it. You know, we can catch a carp. We've been lucky enough to catch a few carp, but even on this session, I mean, it's 30 degrees heat. I mean, I've got a shirt on here. I don't want this shirt on, but I've got to do it for filming purposes. But it is red hot, you know, and until it gets to about 5 or 6 o'clock, that's when obviously things will start changing, hopefully. But you know, we're seeing them cruising around. I mean, I can put a zig on, etc. But I mean, where I'm fishing in 2.5 foot of water, so I can't really see the point of putting one on in that kind of depth. But yeah, at the moment they're just in basking mode. I mean, to be fair, the cameraman's had a little flick around with a floater, and like he said, you know, they're just not interested in this weather. They only spawned a week ago. If we can catch one over 25, I'd be well happy, because you know, them bigger fish, I don't know if they're going to feed yet. I don't know if it's too early, they're still recuperating or whatnot. So, but we've had a couple of doubles. Like I say, we're putting it all on the line, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, like I say, it's a good start, and let's hope we can catch a few more. Right, a bit of an update. I mean, the time now I think is around 6 o'clock, which is a time all us carp anglers love. You know, it's a time when rods should be ready, bites should be coming. I mean, today has been, I'm not one for excuses with carp fishing. I think too many people use them when they don't catch, but on this time I'm probably going to have to be one of them. I mean, today has been like 29-30 degrees heat at least. It's been ridiculous. So I mean, the fish, they've been on top. But when I mean on top, they've just been basking. They're not interested in floaters, they're not interested in nothing. I've even come up in the water, in like 2 foot of water on the islands, they're not interested. So today was a bit of a mixed plan really, because it hasn't gone to plan. We had a barbecue and then we wound the rods in, and obviously at Cottington there is a bar on site. As I'm saying that, I've just seen a fish lump over one of my spots just there, so it's looking good. But getting back to the bar, you know, with the rules on here, they don't mind you winding in, and having a few beers, as long as you keep it moderate, boys, you know what I mean? You can't go up there and have 5 or 6 pints and then put your rods out. I mean, it's a bit ridiculous if you do that, but we've all wound in, we've all had a couple of pints each, and now we're back in the swims. So basically, I mean, earlier on you see me boating out to an island out there, and as I'm looking now, I've just seen one show out there, so we're going to get a rig back on that spot, and also we're going to stick one just on the bottom of the shelf on the island. But yeah, realistically today it hasn't gone to plan, which is not good. It's not what we wanted, but in 29 to 30 degrees heat, unfortunately we can't odds it. There's been no wind, it's nothing. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather have been with my missus and kids today on the beach. That's how pathetic it has been today. But like I say, it's coming into that time where all us carp anglers love it. It's that evening period, you know, the shorts are on, but they're going to be coming off soon. The trousers go on, the glasses are going to come off, and we're going to get the rods out now. And like I say, people that can relate to this, we all love this period of the evening.
Hi, I'm Barry O'Connor, Ben's dad. Everybody knows Ben and Barry through matches and stuff. I've been fishing for many years. I really want to remember, try and forget or whatever, but donkey's years. I started fishing for roach, perch, stuff like that, come up through the ranks, and I suppose I've been carp fishing since the early 80s, something like that, 1979, early 80s. And I've progressed from the smaller fish to fishing for specimen fish. I've fished in many waters up and down the country, a lot of big fish waters. I'm currently a member of the Dell Syndicate. We fish at Cottington quite a lot because we like it down here. And we also do matches as well. I got Ben into fishing at an early age. I suppose he must have been about 4 when I first put a rod in his hand, and it all mushroomed from there. And we then partnered each other from an early age for Ben into matches, which we were quite successful at. As I say, we've been around quite a few years now. For me, probably I don't know, 40 years, something like that. And we've done quite well at what we do. We go to different matches. We love doing matches. We also like to go to different waters. We've been abroad. We've been to France, we've been to Belgium, and we went to South Africa and fished out there, which was really a nice. He's got one. Right, Ben, looks like Ben's got one on, so we're going to cut there, and we'll come back to it in a minute. And he's got one on at the moment, so we're going to get the cameras round to Ben and see him playing that.
Right, well here we are. Like we were saying on the update, it's that time of the evening. You know, it's been absolutely sweltering hot. I think the last time that I spoke to you was probably literally 10 minutes ago. I think George has been round with me dad doing bits. Funny enough, I was just on the phone to Faye, Mrs. And literally the right hand rod, the one where we see the fish, earlier on the island, has literally just ripped off. So it just goes to show, and it's that witching hour, as we can all relate to, like the video itself. It's one of those, isn't it? You know, it's been red hot. And there we go. That's, like I say, it's a much welcome bite. Oh, let's hope we get this one in. Like I said, it's a much welcome bite. Welcome bite, especially in this heat. I'll say there was nothing wrong with them rigs today. I didn't think there was. It's just unfortunately the heat, sorry, that has just killed us. Let's hope we can get this one in. Again, it doesn't look like one of the big ones that are in here, but we'll take it. It's certainly been well earned. So it's not the biggest one in the world, but we'll take it. Getting a good account up for yourself, but also probably a common of about £15. It's absolutely fighting crazy. And then cricket back commons we've all had. It just doesn't want to come in. Still not really. She's giving a good account of herself. I'll tell you, it was probably one of the most hard fighting fish I've ever had, considering it's only a double. It just does not want to come in. It's got one angle fish. I think the lead's dropped as well, and it's still going crazy. Here we go, hopefully this is the one. Come on. Come on. Been waiting for you all day. Oh, no. Yes, in there. That's been long waited for, I tell you, in this heat. I'm so glad. That's number 3. Absolutely over the moon. It's not a big one, but on these day tickets, it's one closer to the big one. Pucker result. Well, here she is. After you've seen that epic battle there, I mean, this is probably, well, it's a mid-double at least, but it's probably one of the hardest fighting fish that I've probably ever caught. I mean, you just see the battle there. I mean, you nearly got out the net. I mean, it was a pucker take, to be honest. Like I said, I was on the phone to my missus. I never actually turned my receiver on. And where I'm battling, I just see the tip slam down. George obviously doing some coverage on the far side with Dad. And obviously the big shout out went out to George. Yeah, and then the tip went round. And I was like, babe, I'm in. You know, we've all been there on the phone to people. And here she is. Like I say, it's not the biggest fish in the world, but you know, in these conditions, I only spawned last week. I mean, she's been battered and bruised. But mind you, I tell you what, we've worked for it. Like I say, we're on 3 now, all pretty much mid-doubles. I mean, to believe that there is some serious big fish in this lake, but whether them big girls feed, like I say, we've all got jobs. You know, the filming's been dated and timed, and this is what we're catching at the moment. But I will take it in this heat, as I'm sure pretty much all of you would do as well in this heat. Well happy. Right, let's get this one back. Nice double. Hopefully. I'll get your granddad out, mate. There we go. Like I say, it's that prime time now. There you go, mate. After the battle you've just given me, you're going to be a little while, I reckon.
It's 5G. Now on the UK's number one.
It's going to be a tight squeeze in there tonight, the two of them, isn't it? Come on. Penalty was given 30 seconds.
What did you get in yours, Barry?
Rice and bowl. It's a bowl. Sharing. Taking pancake roll. No. Right, a bit of an update from yesterday. Obviously when I had that mid-double, obviously the sun had gone down, etc. And we had a few guests come down, my missus came down, and we all ended up having a Chinese and watched the football. And like I say, it was a bit of a family affair and a bit of a social last night, but like I say, that sun went down and the fish started to have a little munch. And last night we managed to get this one, probably scraping £20. Like I say, we haven't weighed it, we're not going to break any records, but very welcome. I mean, Dad's nicked 2 this morning, which is good. But that sun's come back out now, which I think is going to make it quite difficult. But yeah, this is the biggest one of the trip for me. Probably I'd say 20, 22, something like that. I'd say we're not going to bother weighing it. But yeah, that means we've had 6 fish between us now. Enjoyed the social last night, had a lovely Chinese, and most of all Liverpool won as well. It's always nice to get one over on the top then, isn't it, lads? So yeah, overall well pleased. So we'll go around and see Dad's fish soon as well, see what he's had.
Get used to it, mate. Right, behave. Nice one come out this morning. Creamy toffee on a 10mm boilie with an handful of boilies around it. That's all you need down here. Well pleased. I reckon it's about, I don't know, 18, 19 pound. I didn't bother weighing it. So yeah, lovely little common. There's quite a few of these in here. Lovely little fish. So yeah, very pleased with that. This is 1 of 2. That's it. Thank you very much. Let's get her back in the water. Don't want to keep her out too long. Thank you very much, darling. This is a better one, isn't it, Ben? How big do you reckon that one is?
I reckon 24, 24 and a half.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
Last week he would have been, when they spawned,
yeah,
about 27, mate.
He's still got some spawning marks on him.
We'll get him up there, mate.
He's in good condition, though.
Yeah, they all know I'm in, don't they?
Yeah.
There you go, hoist her up then. Biggest one of the trip. What we come for.
Right.
He behaves.
Looks like I'm going swimming.
Yeah, so you're getting wet.
Come on, baby.
Yeah, no, it's a nice one, that. That's a nice way to end it on as well.
Yeah, I'm well pleased with that.
6 fish, 2 20s, 4 doubles in these conditions.
Yep.
Take that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Same tactics as the last. Creamy toffee, 10mm, handful round it. Really pleased. It's a tactic that works here. I'm wondering if we was to try putting more bait out, more 10mm, you know, like put a couple of kilos of it out and see what happens. But at the moment we are using a winning tactic with a handful of bait, so
that's it.
Why change it?
Yeah, it's a lovely condition, that.
Yeah.
So first video we've done, so
that's
happy
right.
with that. We'll go on to rigs and etc.
Yeah.
But the yeah, I'm happy with that in 30 degrees heat.
Yeah.
I mean, Dad's done well, he's nicked a couple. I've had a couple, 2 20s, 4 doubles.
Yeah.
We'll take that. It's been stressful. We didn't
Hasn't it? Yeah.
You know, so
trying to keep in the shade under the trees, yeah.
That's it. We've had a good time, so
yeah.
lovely. Right, carp rigs. Where do we start? I mean, every carp rig has probably been written about tens of thousands of times. There's no wonder rig as such, in my opinion. I mean, just try and keep it bog standard on a day ticket. Like, you know, so basically, if we go through the components here, we'll hang this one up. Basically, if we start, I've got a 15-pound fluorocarbon mainline. Obviously, on these small, intimidating waters, you want that line to get out of the way. They know they're being fished for. So we start off with a 15-pound fluorocarbon. Basically, from then, I've gone for one of the tungsten tubings. To be fair, I've not really used a lot of it, but because of the sinking purposes, I thought I'd give it a go this time. Like I say, I normally just use normal tubing. Not really been into the tungsten stuff, but to be fair, it's done all right. Like I say, I've had 4 bites on this, so I definitely will be using it again over here. And as you can see, just goes down to a standard lead clip. I mean, there's many lead clips on the market. You can choose what ones you want. I mean, I use the Deception range. They come off every time, or not if that's the case, if you don't want to lose your lead. If we go down, you'll see that there's a quick clip there, totally different to what everyone else is using. I mean, the quick clips nowadays, everyone's putting rubbers on them, etc. These quick clips, you don't need a rubber. If you're fishing with a bag on the end, which we are doing, it is so much quicker. You know, it's like when you do a miscast and you've got to move the rubber, put a new hook bag on, new hook length. With this, it's just clip and it's undone, new one on. If we go further down to the rig, one of the many coated braids that are on the market, to be fair, they're all the same. Doesn't matter what company it is, they all come from the same country, to be fair. They all come from abroad. If we go down, it's just a standard size 6 hook. I mean, that's the DX Curve, again from Deception, probably one of the sharpest hooks on the market. Not really into all this sharpening hooks. I think it's a bit of a fantasy. I do it sometimes, but I think you can get caught up in a world that you don't really need to. So like I say, just keep it bog standard. Don't have to do anything mega. You know, you see all these wonder rigs and you've got to use this and use that. Keep it simple. And this is a day ticket lake. They see everything. You know, I see rigs being chucked in lakes. Well, it's got that much metal on it, I'll take it down to a scrapyard. You know, so keep it. I mean, that is bog standard. I would say take anywhere rig on any, to be fair, any lake in the world, and you will catch a fish. A bog standard lead clip, bit of tubing, probably a 5-inch hook length. I mean, sometimes I will go shorter, but because we're on silt, I've gone to 5, and that's pretty much it. I mean, the components, I mean, we use a lot from Deception, but like I say, there's many companies out there. You don't have to use the Deception stuff. You can use whatever you like. I mean, these are the lead clips. Obviously you get them in brown, you get them in green, and the size 6, obviously the curved shanks, that's all you'll ever see me and Dad use is a curved shank hook. We never go for straight points or anything. And when added with a bit of shrink tube, as you can see here, and with a little bit of silicone, no rings, just a tiny bit of silicone, it just traps that hair in position where I want that to be locked. And sometimes with rings they can shoot back. I know that people go on about resetting rigs and that. I'm not too favoured of it because I think a lot of it is a fallacy again. So keep it very simple. Don't overcomplicate things. There's a world of knowledge out there, and I think us as anglers, we all try to get involved in it too much. Just keep it standard. As you can see, nice lead clip, nice bit of tubing, and a standard hook length. Right, well that's it now for rigs. Like I say, I hope you've enjoyed the programme. I've enjoyed making it with me Dad. I've had fun with George the cameraman, etc. Like I say, if you've liked it, hit the subscribe button. We're going to be doing more videos, and I'll see you again soon. Tight lines.